What's up, people? I got a battle here against Rod from Pokerupt, and it's an NU, so it should be fun. Goes into a senior mime, and I go into my pointless because it has no points, and he's a tricky Mexican, so he tries to steal my accessories by giving me a choice scarf, but I don't care because I'm a fucking fish. So I set up some spikes, and I set up more spikes as he sets up a reflect. So that means he lets me set up 3 fucking layers of spikes, which is pretty sexy. So I get my 3rd layer as he kills me. So sad. Yeah. So I die like a mofo. And then I go into, Smexy because I know I can wall it, Gardevoir. And he does get up the light screen because he's faster, which pisses me off. But I do, break his sash with the Shadow Ball. So his senior mime goes away and he goes into his muck, but I predict a switch and go for the Will-O-Wisp, which does hit, thankfully, and yeah. So he gets Black Sludge and then gets hurt by his burn. So I go for the Psychic because I fucking hate pollution because I'm a tree hugger, and but he curses at me because he hates tree huggers, and I'm like, well, fuck you too, save the planet, bro. And then yeah, so he gets hurt by his burn and shit, and I just go for the second Psychic, and I do get a crit here. I don't know if this mattered. I mean, it probably wouldn't have killed him, but it wouldn't have mattered that much anyway. Whatever. So he goes into his Primeape, and I know he's just going to U-turn because I can see into the future. And so I go out into my own Primeape because it's just a fucking Primeape fest here. And the U-turn doesn't do shit, and then he goes back into his senior mime, and yeah, so I just go for the U-turn too because I'm a fucking poser and I just copy what other people do. And yeah, so I get the fuck out and I go into Klaus because it's like a fucking armadillo, hedgehog, whatever the hell it is. It's awesome. So he goes into his butterfly question mark, and he goes for the energy ball because he just has the balls to do that. So, look at this shit. I live with 24 HP like a mofo, and then I stone edge him because I love stoning people because I'm just old fashioned like that. So he dies, but I'm like at 46 HP, so he goes back into his ape because he loves apes, and he just ice punches, and I just let it die because it's pretty much useless anyway. So here's where I fuck up because I thought he was scarfed because most are, but he's not. So I go into this to resist the ice punch, but he just close combats me and I die like a dumbass. So yeah, you fucking mag mortar. But what's funny is that I do get the burn on him, which is really funny. But as you're about to see, it doesn't matter that much. So I go into my own Primeape because it's another Primeape fest, and I just close combat his bitch ass, and it dies. So that's cool. That's cool. So he goes into Moses because he's a hypno and he's a pretty hip guy. So I go back into this because I have super effective Shadow Ball and shit. And he just goes for Barrier, which I don't really care about. I'm just gonna go for the Shadow Ball because I'm a ballin' guy. And I get the special defense drop, which is kind of funny, but also sucks for him because he goes for the Calm Mind. And so I just go for the Shadow Ball again because I love balls. And I get a special defense drop again, and he goes for the Calm Mind. So now he's probably like raging, smashing his DS against the wall. But yeah, so I go for the final Shadow Ball, and that is gonna take him out. So yeah. So he goes into his last guy, which is a Torkoal, and I'm like fucking fire turtles, how do they work? So I go for the psychic because I have nothing better to do, because it's like a physical wall. But he goes for the amnesia, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is gonna be stally as shit. So I just go for the psychic again. Stumbling there. And he just goes for the amnesia again, and I'm like, oh my god, fuck. I have no idea what that was. So I'm going for the psychic because I'm an unoriginal person, and he goes for the earthquake. And even with my like shitty ass physical defense, it still only does like a fourth. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, just getting leftovers. I go for the psychic again, and he just goes for the amnesia again, and I'm like, oh my god, holy shit. So luckily we don't have to stall this out anymore, because I get a crit this turn. So sorry about the hacks, bro, but it was a pretty good battle otherwise, so GG.